again. First episode of 2021. You know, off to a slow start, but that's my whole life, so let's keep it going. Keep the trend going. Definitely glad to be back. Oh, man. So, just made
glad to be back.
Yeah, Danny's back.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. Danny's back.
Just finished manning the board.
Manning the board, yeah. I was kind of transfixed what's going on there. I was like, yes, we're doing it right. We're trying to get a little bit professional every single episode here, yeah. Trying to cue things up correctly, you know. Just a, one or two man show depending on how the show is shot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm happy with all your help on everything, that half of the board and then my half of the board. We split the responsibilities.
Yeah. I'm going to put tape down the middle. Don't come past that line. It's my side. Yeah. No, that's a pleasure to use. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, I like it. Hey.
Love some good hardware.
Yeah, definitely. So, episode 8 today. We've done 7 last year. Going for 12 this year.
That's right.
Episode 8 of the Sit and Spin podcast here at the, I'm going with Roger Productions. I wrote that up there. That's how I say that. Roger Productions. I'm going with that.
Roger Productions Studio.
Roger Productions Studio. That's where we're broadcasting out of the city with the brick dick.
Live.
You know how we are. Not live, edited, but unedited. You know what I mean? I'm not doing a ton of editing. I'm learning how to do all the production work on the fly as I want to make this thing, as I want to figure it all out. So it's all kind of a, tied in
it's
interest.
A good hobby to have while Pandy's still going.
Yeah, a lot of shows. I got to do something, man. I think a lot of things spawned because of that. I told you I definitely came up with the idea slightly before Pandy, and then and then it was like, well, what a better idea to have an idea. You know what I mean? Have plenty of ideas you never take action on. So let's do this, man. We're doing episode 8 here. We're doing the Rolling Stones, Some Girls, the 1978 release.
Are we on display?
Bam. Oh, shit. No, it's right there on the couch. Grab that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, do the lean. Got the lean. I'll take a little sip. Yeah, throw it up there. You can, you can look at it, check it out when you're done. Just kind of like prop it up on the leg there. If you're listening, you can. Thanks for listening on all the podcast platforms. But we recommend checking it out on YouTube. So when we do start talking and describing things, you get the visual element as well. Working on the video production too, so hopefully that gets better with each episode too, as well.
You get to see these cone bras.
Yeah, cone bras. What's this, 1978?
Madonna style.
Yeah, cone bras. Hey, everyone was doing it, but hey, it reminds me of Aliens, man. Cone bras is like alien tits to me. Like, that's just
some Star Trek, Captain Kirk's.
But hey, that's what was in, man. Fashion. You have no control over fashion.
Oh, okay. These are all okay, this is cool. I like this a lot. This is the first one that I've seen where the back of the...
You see, it's got some of the lyrics under, like, it'll have the song and the lyric under there. It looks just like a catalog, like an old shopping merchandise catalog. The album itself. Oh, yeah,
it even has, like, the bra. It says freedom from shoulder strain, freedom from pinching or binding. That's funny.
Yeah.
But these are the songs as well, and the credits, the production credits.
Yeah. It's all kind of like a nice visual pattern. This is definitely really cool, why I like doing it in this format of, like, hey, let's sit down, let's listen to the record, let's look at the vinyl, let's look at how it was originally put out in some cases. So this particular record... that I have, or edition of this record, I should say. So there's a bunch of editions of this record. This one is the 1978 release, without the unedited faces. So it's got the Lucille Ball, the Desi Arnaz, There's like 2 other people's faces that they didn't want on there after it came out there. I actually didn't look it up and all that. Probably should have, but hey, sometimes we don't do our research correctly on this show. We got to do it on the fly. It's kind of, even if you're experiencing the album for the first time or not, there is no bar for being on here. We're just going to talk about how we liked the album or anything like that. So yeah, the whole thing's just got kind of like a, J.C. Penney, Macy's vibe. You can put it on like the leg there. The lens will still pick it up down there. Yeah. Yeah, like probably like that. Sweet. Nice. And then you can probably still reach it, right? If you want to grab it again. For reference, all that shit.
Yeah, the catalog look is very cool.
But yeah, looking it up online, this was their 14th/16th album. UK, US. I'm not going to go into that, but whatever. But 16th album. That's quite an accomplishment in albums. Like, I know a lot of my artists that I like nowadays that I just hey, they came out when I was growing up, or my time, or a lot of the records that are on here that I'm just like are more modern considered. They've only got like 6 albums out in their whole career and shit like that. So these guys are just like Well, we're just on in '78. You're like, they're still doing their thing. Like, they haven't stopped. So you know what I mean? Years. So I'm just like, this is 16, even 14. That's pretty intense. And it's not a bad album. That's the thing. Like, we're only doing this one particularly. Just I wanted to do a Rolling Stones album. When I think of rock and roll, that's who I think of. I mean, there's so much more that's not just like the best or whatever, but like that's definitely like, oh yeah, Mick Jagger, who's still doing it, who's been doing it, who everyone's emulated and still living under, in a sense, all my children, as Gucci would say.
He can say that. He can claim that, yeah.
Mick Jagger should make it all my children and address that. Everyone who's living a rock and roll lifestyle is like, I mean, some people's lifestyles are too rock and roll.
He would be a part of it. Yeah, I think so. From what I've learned,
he's not. He's still kicking it. And Keith Richards too. Yeah, I mean,
but they did some crazy shit.
I mean, a lot of this they talk about heroin on this multiple times, and talking about Keith Richards and his heroin stuff. So like, I don't know too many people who have done heroin and then kept doing. He obviously stopped. He's still alive. Yeah. But like,
this was like this album was like a crossroads too. Apparently.
Yeah,
or a pivot point for him and his drug use thing.
Yeah, definitely on a lot of the later tracks in the album, I thought of just like them addressing their own, image of legitimacy, you should say, to like, the social norm, popular acceptance kind of image, as far as like, well, we're still rock and roll though, and like,
yeah,
the test of time is really the rock and roll testament to these guys. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean.
And this was an era where they were dying out. Like, I didn't know. So, like, for me, this was the first Rolling Stones album I've listened to, like, fully. Like, front to back and all that stuff, yeah. And it turns out it's their, 16th one.
Isn't that nuts?
Which is wild, yeah. So, for them to have this kind of consistency, because this is what I thought that they would be sounding like for a few of the songs, at least. And they do. So, they keep their sound, but... as it says, like in a million places, there's a few songs that like clearly inspired, like the country one, Faraway Eyes, and Miss You is the disco one. It's surprising to me because the disco influence, like I told you, but I think I told you about. There's like this Bee Gees documentary that just dropped recently, and like, my dad, like for Middle Eastern people, like when you grow up, you're not really listening to classic rock like this. Like there's no local rock station. It's
right.
AC/DC and Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones. It was more like Bee Gees and Michael Jackson and just different stuff like that. So,
well, that was also popular, but it just wasn't rock. Like this is
the access to it, or maybe the popularity there wasn't the same. So it's
sure, yeah. When you would turn on, so equivalent here to how we broadcast here. You listen to more or less the radio sometimes here.
Yeah,
955 would have been doing the Michael Jackson, the popular stuff, all of that time. You know what I mean here. Whereas you would still have caught. Since they're on their 16th album, you would have caught the, Jagger on the riff. So your dad wasn't listening to probably 101 or 88.7.
No, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He would have been like,
yeah. Well, I mean, first coming here and all that too.
Yeah.
So like at the time, whatever the equivalent was. Yeah. So,
but no, it's like it's interesting that this album. Right after watching the Bee Gees HBO documentary, I love the Bee Gees and all that shit. The disco sound is just so good. And this being like they had to combat the disco sound. Like disco was killing rock at the time when this came out.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah, disco was killing rock.
They incorporated it with Miss You, which we'll start out in a bit, I guess. But like, it was just cool to see that. But being the first one, I was surprised, but of course, but pleasantly surprised. But
yeah.
What I expect. Some of them were definitely what I expected it to sound like.
I definitely had like feeling like some songs are. Like, I mean, let's run it down. I'll tell you which ones I'll think are the parodies
we don't have
and
to
shit
go
like
chronological or anything.
Oh no, definitely. I'll tell you the one. So the one that definitely I just wrote parody of. Well, obviously the Western song. What is that?
Faraway Eyes.
Faraway Eyes. Yeah, that one. So like, he's definitely like. Keith Richards doesn't speak in a drawl like that. So he's obviously, it's entertainment. He's a character. He's a parody. Yeah. While the story lives in reality, according to interviews and stuff like that, things you find online, the girl he's talking about, he's like, oh, there's inspiration there.
It's a real girl.
Those are real faraway eyes. I'm thinking of when I'm talking about it. But he's throwing on such a drawl with it and stuff. So like, yeah, some of the...
Definitely mocking it.
Some of the terms he throws out, they are what they are. But, I'm not even get into all that. I definitely like think the interview where they ask him about like, you know, is the girl real or whatever like that. And he's just like, yep. So I mean, that man was living a rock and roll life, you know. So that's why even when it comes to, you know, some girls, all the stuff on that were like, not that music like that wouldn't be made or accepted today. You have a much broader thing of what's going on today.
This could be, this is a timeless thing.
Yeah, like, but at the same time, I mean, there's no punches pulled in some girls. He's just like, firing squad, everybody gets hit with that. Yeah. So he's got an opinion on the girls of every, walk of life. So it is ridiculous with that one. But it's the title of the album. It's the, you know, so it got definitely pretty popular.
Fourth time, I believe, or something like that.
Did I write anything on that in particular? That's only like 4, yeah. Oh yeah, I just wrote that he gave 0 fucks and
that's really what I put. Fuck you song.
Except for the one line where he said I can't keep up, so it was after the I don't know. Girls who like to fuck. I know it's the controversial line. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how he termed it, but it's the girls who like to fuck. Is it black girls? Okay, I don't know. Well, I know he said colored radio station on the eyes one, so I didn't know if he said that for this. I was like, I don't know how he phrased it, but the girls like, he says, I can't keep up. I don't have that much jam. In knowing Mick Jagger now, I know he didn't look like this and all that. You know, he's as old as he is now. All I'm thinking is Pro-Jam. Like,
which there's some like, I don't know what celebrity it was, but like every once in a while, someone will come out and be like, "I'd still fuck Mick Jagger," like,
right?
And he's so old and wrinkly.
I guess that's like such a status thing, but no, thank you. That dude is the Crypt Keeper at this point. But hey, the respect due given Crypt Keeper. He's an old man, but he's still kicking. Oh shit!
In '99, in a concert, I wrote the song because I saw they switched the lyrics around. They switched the black and white girls lyrics.
Oh, he said
because
of the controversy that how it was accepted.
Yeah, then he said, but why black girls or white girls? No, black girls. They're so funny because he says white girls. They're so funny.
Okay. So well, I mean, I think that bolsters his statement of just like it wasn't like a shot at them. It was a shot in general. Yeah. He said it was deep. He said it was rooted in truth as far as like. He couldn't, like, the same thing, the lyric after, couldn't keep up. You know, all that stuff. So,
and listen to the other lyrics in there. Like, he's like, some girls give me diamonds. Like, were girls really giving him diamonds and jewelry stuff? Because if he was, then that's what I love the most about being a rock star. Fuck the women themselves and the drugs. They're giving you diamonds and jewelry and clothes. They're giving you the drip, man. Yeah. For what reason? Oh, man. And other stuff.
But then it's followed up with, they took it right back because the next lyrics like, they took my diamonds and my money. I was like, well, you didn't. They gave it to you already.
Yeah. He said he twice in 2 different ways he referenced like, you know, children out of wedlock, like illegitimate children.
In that song, he did.
Yeah, like saying like, you know, they try to have children that I don't even know or like and that I don't want. Like he sounded like Mitch Hedberg in a little bit to that.
It's funny that you would say that. That line kind of specifically apparently is like a throw to Dylan.
Oh yeah,
because it references like a Dylan song that I can't tell you which one. But I read that online. But as soon as I read that, heard it, and was like, oh yeah, that I could see that. I could see that. That's a long stretch.
Like that's about
it. Oh man,
that's funny.
But that was still at the top. That's number 4. I mean, that's some girls. Let's see, where did we go?
But yeah, it was very nonchalant and lazy and all that stuff, which was cool. It reminds me of a lot of things. They might be stupid references, but like mumble rap stuff like that. Like, you know, it's just very lazy. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he's just whatever.
It was that was definitely just like a song where he was like, "I'm saying what I'm saying." You know, well, that seems more true to the style of like why you think they're rock and roll. You know, like whereas like, you know, the Faraway Eyes and all these other, like the ones that are more, you know, punk driven are a little more like thematic and even a parody. Even though it's like a, you know, rooted in truth parody type thing,
which I see too, because like okay, so like disco is like, you know, baby I love you, like I just wanna be your everything, like Andy Gibb. I'm jamming out to that, and it's like like it's just so like lovey dovey and happy, and he comes back like, fuck that, like just, what did you forget about what rock and roll was really all about?
Kind of flips right back into, you know, the whoop. Don't forget, and that's throughout the whole album too. Like Make Me Run, I definitely was like. So like all the songs before that not include, not the one we were just speaking on, but the songs before that are definitely like, okay, that's a little bit themed. That one's, it's the punk one. This is the disco one. But yeah, everybody's going over that kind of stuff. That way too, all that way too. But then you get to Make Me Run, and that one is just like, that is like rock, because they're speaking about still their experiences, but more of just like straight first perspective, and from Keith and Mick and all that. So like, this was apparently
like this was written by Keith Richards, and it's, I guess, a response to his arrest for the heroin possession in Toronto.
Okay,
in February 1977. So like, that's like, apparently that was looming over them the whole time.
That's why they weren't doing stuff between albums or whatever, stuff like that. So while this was being made, he was still going through charges.
He was dealing with all of that,
and the pros,
which is, I put like that's they're true rock stars. Like that is true rock star shit. Like you're, and not that it's good or anything. No, but like
it's a hand in hand.
It was recorded by him in 5 days without sleeping, of course.
That was so really. I love that shit. Yeah, I love those nuggets.
But the ultimate response to his possession charge in Toronto was this Canadian judge told him to perform a charity show for the Canadian National Institute for the Blind.
That was part of his sentence.
So it's very anti-rock star, but like, you got off, dude. You got heroin possession in Canada, where they probably don't fuck around. Like, I know USA doesn't fuck around with heroin as well, but here, do a charity show for the blind people, and we'll let you off rip.
But at the same time, like, I think that's part of, like, okay, if he was that stature, 16th album, they're already successful, by all means. So
God, how much drugs and songs have you recorded and done,
God, and so if you're also, Keith is still alive, so he's not still doing heroin, so he's working on getting that. A lot of the songs on this, including Make Me Run, are like about their like legitimacy and acceptancy through society's eyes, even though they were a rock star, a rebel image, all that kind of stuff. They say talking about heroin with the president, like, well, who's going to talk about it? The motherfucker's been caught red-handed, doing that type of stuff, possession, all that. And, I'm sure they treated it more, criminally back then, as opposed to now, where it's like, let's get you more help, as opposed to, lock you up. You had it. It's bad. That still happens here, but tides are turning, progress is being made. But,
which one? There was another one that's exactly about that. There's one song that he started writing that was about them, but it ended up being about...
Well, Standing Rock, I liked that one because it was also like kind of like about becoming a little more respectable.
Oh, respectable.
Yeah.
Is respectable what you're thinking? Wait,
Oh, yeah, maybe, or sorry.
Respectable.
I'm sorry. It is respectable. I don't know why I wrote that like that.
Yeah, that's the one that I was thinking of. No, thank you. That's like punk influenced and stuff, which was like, of the three influences was
keep going.
Punk and disco and I guess their own old sound or something like that, or the country song. But this was, he said it was a song about the band, and he was singing about them and then just fitting in random lines in between and stuff. So it became about, I guess, whatever it was, a girl or something. But when he's talking about, I forget the exact lines, I didn't write down, but like being, like you're talking about, being respected by society,
right.
Like seeing us in a better something or other. He said like that's the band that I was talking about, literally. And
right. It's not just them like going against, part of rock and roll is speaking. I mean, part of all music and art and culture is, speaking necessarily about the critical realities of the times, whether it's good or bad. And some of those realities are really fucking bad. And then when they put that, out for the 16th time and they keep getting a following and they say some of those things, you may not be looked at so legitimized. So that's a good turning point. I mean, granted, wow, it took a lot of albums to get there, but to actually for them to start acknowledging it and having the self-awareness that like, hey, like we've got a voice, in this society, and hey, we're making music, we're making art, people are liking it, people are accepting it, all that kind of stuff. Turn up the USB slider. It's the third one. Maybe I should have did it. Nope, the one more. Can you stretch one more? No. Stretch. No, this way.
Oh, shit.
My bad. I should have did it. It's a little closer. I got to.
Bam.
There we go. Yeah. Check this is one of the things I came across that I was like, okay, well, this goes with the society. So it's Rolling Stones. Okay, obviously, but like you're going to see a face right here, so they're just talking about this here.
But before they started on this tour, Geraldo Rivera caught up with the boys and Nick in Woodstock. They've been around quite a while, haven't they?
They started as a band in 1962.
Rivera, baby.
And it used to be that rock and roll fans were the ones who wouldn't trust the fact.
So he said, I just don't want to play a lot of it because, it's going to get demonetized, blah, 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 taken off YouTube. I want people to watch on YouTube. I'd rather not have this all kind of pulled off by some algorithm. But he says, like, they're over 30 at this point for this album. So, like, rock and roll, a lot of rock and roll stars, think of just like, not that they're not doing anything, but, think of Green Day, think of Blink-182, think of, like, rock stars when we were kids, which would be a lot of, like, alt and modern rock, I think was the more popular vein. There's, like, we can go more into, like, legitimate, if you want to get into that argument of, like, rock pop, but I'm just thinking of just, like, see, like, all that stuff, I would think of, big umbrella for that, but they weren't 30, so, like, I think part of the, youngness and being in touch is part of that image, but they're over 30, and this is still a hugely, like, or a widely accepted album, like, people like it, and it's also got its own controversies with its own thing. Definitely, brought them back. What is it, 78? I know they say in this album, or in this interview here, like, this is, they stayed at Woodstock, for a little bit, so Woodstock of 69, and then it happened, additional years after that, of that area. So that was definitely like a big area for music to keep coming, so they went back there to kind of find their roots again and all that kind of thing. So I think that 100% helped the influence of the album, without a doubt. Like, this is a great album. I enjoyed it.
It's every song. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and like I said, it even though it was a return to form, which is why I keep saying, like, I will keep saying, oh, it sounds like what I thought they would sound like.
They would sound
minus
absolutely
the other ones that were clearly influenced.
We'll have to definitely listen to some of the earlier ones. Like my dad has way more in his collection. This is the only Rolling Stones album that I personally own. My collection's growing. And to speak to that, like, on the first side, at least the whole first side, at least, there was, like, clicking and stuff on it, the vinyl
it had the
sound.
Classic vinyl sound.
So I'm glad that,
cool.
like, we kind of were like, all right, let's listen to this album. And so we listened to it a little bit, digitally in the week leading up to it, so we could get just like, okay, this is what we can hear it. It's clear. There is a magic to the modern medium, without a doubt.
Yeah, I liked it. Like that with the crackles and stuff. Like, listening to it super clear.
People really do love that, without a doubt. Absolutely.
I don't feel like I should be listening to it in, like, a clean new car. Like, it needs to be not a beater, but like a old, like, it needs to be like some 70s, 80s car, like a long boat style car, like you're driving and stuff. It just makes it more authentic.
Old Oldsmobile or something. Oh, hell yeah. But I have to have an 8-track player. I would listen to this on 8-track. Bam, right in there, old Mustang or something.
It said something about 8-track on the wiki.
Oh, definitely. I didn't even see that. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I was just watching this earlier, and I just saw the whole... Who's that? Geraldo Rivera. Yeah, I know it's yeah. I know he's a popular guy now for controversy's sake and things like that. But he's working for Rolling Stone, edgy man. I didn't even watch this whole interview. I was just kind of like going through. Oh yeah, here's Jagger. This is what he looks like. So he was not the bag of bones I would describe him as now. Funny. But that's what I was. So his jam stuff kind of holds up. Oh yeah, Luke Skywalker. Oh my God, you're right with that haircut. Oh yeah.
That just he looks like a BG there too.
Here's Keith. I don't know.
Yeah, all those they all British look to him.
Oh yeah. So
Shattered was the one that was about, like, New York life, the New York lifestyle, stuff like that. That was popular too because the Bee Gees had the same thing where they, like, Staying Alive was like a song about, like, New York and being
okay.
tough in the streets and stuff. So Shattered, like there was like a killer or something wandering the streets, and that's what it was about. But Shattered is the same way. Like, it's a classic. Like, this is what it feels like to be in New York City, and he was just saying it, like, tattered, shattered. Like, he's just like, I'll give it to you.
He did say something about, like, people in bags directing traffic. So I mean, is it the cops directing, or was it just like people in plastic bags, like, living because that was just what was it? 78. Oh yeah, 80s was real bad in New York. So this is leading right into that. So I'm sure it was actually bad in 78 too.
Speaking of, like, the one song. When the Whip Comes Down.
When the Whip Comes Down.
He said it's a song about a garbage collector who goes from LA to New York City. And in the beginning, talk about controversial, but, like, starts out saying he's gay in New York, but in LA he's a fag.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's about a garbage collector
who's getting
discriminated in LA and stuff. It's just weird, but like,
I think he's like legitimately, a gay man, in New York, and then he goes over there. I don't know if he's saying, that word specifically because the nomenclature changes coast to coast, just the actual word itself. But at the same time, like, that's this whole thing with the whip comes down. I think he's talking about him getting more into just like that lifestyle and all that over there. I do pair that especially with Shattered just because of the tempo of the song.
Same thing,
It's that, like you were saying, like gritty. You were listening to the album on the way over here, and you were just driving like this is highway music, this is highway rock and roll.
It doesn't stop. It's like I couldn't think of it earlier, but it's like fast paced. It's just like nonstop, and it's like
Shattered.
It has its own like drive. You want to drive.
Oh yeah, it's not that it has like a set tempo, but it's just like
it's just going. Yeah, it's cool. Like it slows down in certain songs, but like the album, like I was telling you, like off mic, like it just all the choruses are easily rememberable. Like
that's what makes the album just one of those.
Just when the whip goes down,
like,
fuck it, just singing it right away. Like
I want to turn it back on awesome. Right now. Not gonna lie, well, I think Shattered was more like it reminded me immediately of like Billy Joel. Like, like that sound right there, it's more of the New York lifestyle. I just wrote whirlwind in my little notes here because like that's always what I've thought that would be like, and that's definitely like the image that it came to mind just hearing that playing.
They played it on SNL too, I guess, in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, it came out in 78, so at some point, maybe 78, they played it on SNL. Yeah,
let's not get busted here. Let's check it out. 1970.
It was another like punk take song. I think if he sounds like anybody here, he sounds like the lead singer from the B-52s. Very loopy quick. But it wasn't a rock. It was a rock.
It was a rock.
Yeah, we were at the beach. And he's very like nonchalant, but at the same time like quick and like matter of factly like.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it a lot. Talking about weird stuff, but quick.
Let's see here. Oh, let's bring that down a little bit.
Yeah, influenced by punk, but that was loud, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty loud.
God, I've never really like this is why I like this because I've never seen or heard of them really like that.
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
Folks, but like
no, that's definitely why I like doing this.
Dive in, like I know their singles and stuff like that, but I haven't seen too much.
Well, no disrespect to them, but they're past their time. You know what I mean?
No,
so I mean,
course,
if you were to let me listen to Rolling Stones, and you press play on any modern app, you don't necessarily hit every song on this album. You definitely hit some of them. You've heard some of these songs without a doubt.
That's for sure.
So like that's why I like sitting down with the album, being able to let's look up some of the stuff. We'll spend a day checking this stuff out, and then let's BS on a mic and talk about it, and then look up some of this stuff. So
there's like 19 other chances to do this with all their albums.
Exactly. It's insane. And just this artist. So let's have some fun with it. So this, Beast of Burden here is definitely what he's playing.
That's the Larry David. There it is.
Pretty girls. Pretty. Yeah, all right. That's pretty dope. So one of the things, so my dad, that's just Shattered. Oh man. So my dad has seen Rolling Stones multiple times. I've asked him about it and stuff. Awesome. He really likes the Rolling Stones. Not his favorite band, but he definitely is influenced my opinion on just like, they are rock and roll, and like you can't really argue with it. We've walked through that like arguing like, that's definitely these guys for sure of all. Yeah.
Like you were telling me of like the AC/DCs and the Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, like they're see AC/DC though, that was one that's like definitely I can argue like they're rock and roll without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like that would be one if somebody's like, nah, I would have a hard time or say like, but not even like Guns, like those are all like, hair bands, 80s, that's a little later. So like it's still spawning and living in the shadow of like, if you never give up the argument of Michael Jackson being the king of pop, like that's a hard, it'd be hard to like, people say like, Elvis is the king of rock and roll. Like, of his genre of rock and roll still, but the lifestyle of rock and roll, I still think just goes up to Keith Richards.
When they started in the 60s, like mid 60s, early 60s. When did you start? Like, it's so close to the 50s, but like they really revolutionized, like,
and still like they've outlived everybody, like without a doubt for the span. So like, you got to give the crowd, you got to go. Yeah,
Keith Richards and Mick Jagger, they look old as fuck.
Jesus, yeah. Oh, let's look up current day Mick Jagger here. Let's see. Gonna go.
But they still say,
I thought
they still say, like, fuck it, I have that sex appeal, or, like, females will agree to it.
Well, I think that's just like the image of power. That's the argument of image of power. And well, see, that's the thing. He's got so much money, he can still buy that youth look type of thing. Yeah. So let's see. I put current. Let me just put 2021.
That's right. Look, Mick Jagger becomes a father again at like whatever age, like however old he was.
I don't know a lot of that. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess I understand why people would say that. Yeah. Whoever's doing his work is like, okay, you know. I always see caricatures of him and stuff drawn, and like, you know, a lot of people making fun of that. So I definitely have followed along with the old man trope. But dude, yeah, man's.
He definitely.
He should look worse, even. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see here.
Mick Jagger allegedly transferred Angelina Jolie for a one-night stand.
I don't know about all that.
So on our local, there's a local radio station here, and it's really popular and stuff. It's in like a bunch of different markets now. But
who's that?
They talk about Dave and Chuck.
Oh, Dave and Chuck 3. Yeah. You love them. Yeah. I figured that's who it was, but hey, give them the credit.
So they're on the riff now, which is
shout out Dave and Chuck 3.
I feel like they
come on the show.
Yeah, come on the show. Please come on the show.
Holy shit.
No, like they are on the riff, which is like a legendary radio station here, but they talk about these stories all the time, like all this types of shit for rock stars, especially because that's their thing.
Too young, and we're a little more sheltered in our upbringing, where a lot of this stuff is not necessarily so new to us, but like you know, like this is your first lengthy, legitimate listen through dive in type thing
into this type of era at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like they will talk about these stories, or like every once in a while, a celebrity will come out, whether they're well known or not, from this time, and they were like, "Yeah, Mick Jagger used to fuck a bunch of dudes," like. And they would just be, the one dude would talk about how, like when you're that famous and you've banged like probably 2,000 broads, like you just switch to something else because you're bored. And that's what they said. Yeah. And that's what the dude believes. And I'm like,
usage, drugs, the acceleration of life. You're on top of it. Like money becomes, like for a lot of people, just getting enough money to get by in life is the drive. But once you start hitting a certain precipice and people are like, all right, how much money is too much money? Like that argument, stuff like that. Mick Jagger's in that realm. You know what I mean? Like, especially by your 16th album, and this is while they're still going. Let's take a look. This is new him. All right, can't really jump. Hips are all fucked up. Can't really jump.
Still wearing super tight pants.
Yeah. Oh, but he's still doing the hip swivel. Replaced in hips or whatever.
Jesus. There's a motor in there. There's a motor that runs them automatically.
Yeah, he's like the Tin Man.
That's the balance.
Yeah. So hey, at least he's still walking around. I've seen older, like I went with my dad and we saw Styx, and I also went with an old girlfriend and saw Willie Nelson. And both of the Styx had to be in bed by 10. They were off. They were like 9:30 off the stage. And then Willie Nelson, he didn't even breathe between songs. He was like, all right, this is my next song I got right here. We're going to start. All right, that was a great song. Now we're going to get to the next one. I was like, oh my God, Willie's got to go.
And are you seeing this? Like, I don't know if you said it for this reason, but the title of this video is that it's his first time after heart surgery.
Oh,
so he's like, fuck it. He doesn't care, man.
Yeah, I got the money. Let's get a new heart. Fuck your heart, I get a new heart.
Get a new heart, put some coke in it, and let me go on stage.
Yeah, put some coke in it. Give me the coke-resistant heart, please. Have you been breeding that in your laboratories, please? Am I rich? Oh, man. This was definitely a fun album,
It was cool. There's one that we didn't mention, which was like this. The cover is Just My Imagination, the Temptations cover, which is dope. And then they have a song. This is the fun fact of the podcast. The Temptations have Papa Was a Rolling Stone, so...
Oh, okay. So they've covered each other? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying they have a song. They have a song that's called, Papa
Have you heard that?
I think that's like the...
Yeah, I know what it is, but I didn't know you were saying that for some reason that was attributed to them.
No, but like they cover the Temptations, and it's just funny that the Temptations have a song that's Papa Was
so influential, man.
And like the Rolling Stones as a magazine... which takes the
I see where you're going with this. Okay,
yeah. I'm just saying, like, they're very, like, they're huge culturally, and, like, I don't know. I mean, the magazine is big, at least, but, of course, like...
Yeah. People can say what they want about them now, but they obviously got to where they are by starting as something, and we're looking at a lot of this through the 78 lens, They're still legitimate in 78, I imagine. I wasn't alive, but that was part of the independent rags of the time, you know, like we're Rolling Stone, we're edgy, we're all that. So like now it's, you know, obviously commercialized and all that kind of stuff, and people will be like, well, we don't really like their reviews because they're all 4s and 5s and they don't do any critical anything and blah blah, you know. You hear everything on the internet. So not to, you know, play into any of that, but we don't even like reviewing on this show. It's just like we're just experiencing the album, and specifically on vinyl. There's some quirkiness to it, you know. You get to at least slow down and experience and hold the album. So it's more of just a love to the format as well as the discovery of music itself. You know, that's all we're doing on this show. Yeah. I looked up a few other like record podcasts and stuff online, and just to make sure, like, hey, am I doing the same thing everybody else is doing? And like, so, yeah, I'm kind of, you know, I'm not doing anything super unique, but at the same time, this is an excuse for me to like hang out with friends I don't like, you know, not necessarily don't see all the time, or but like I want to get Biddle on this show. He knows that, you know. I've got my buddy Larry trying to come on the show. Well, like trying to get him on. He's we're gonna do
Larry,
it.
Come on the show.
Larry, come on the show. Biddle, come on the show. Everybody come on the show. You know, everyone I know has a different perspective of music, even to the point of just like my dad, who's loves Stones. He could tell me so much stuff about Stones that I couldn't even find on the internet just from his own experience, as opposed to that. So like, I'd even like talk to older people like, what does your dad want to listen to? See if he's going. I'll talk to anybody on the podcast, man. I want to just have some fun with it and have a bunch of like experiences that go with the stories of of the album itself, not necessarily regurgitating just facts online. Anybody can do their own research. Yeah, I like the stories. Just what I have to lean on because I'm not so experienced. Oh no, I think it brings some meat and potatoes to what we're talking about and accelerates the conversation. I'm not shitting on that, but definitely like the more experience of just like, you know, oh, this is highway rock, you know, even to that call out, like that transcends time. I'm sure you're not the person to have that thought, so you've got some parallel thinking with somebody for sure.
This was on a lot of highway, you know, like road trip playlists, cassette tapes, shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh man, that's what I say, like an 8-track, bam, put the 8-track in there. Yeah, it's like the Nintendo soundtrack.
Yeah, no, being my first album that I listened to of theirs, and being a fan of punk and disco and country, it was cool to get the first taste of their style. Yeah. From besides their singles and what I've heard on the radio and shit like that, and also like their take, but their original style, which was cool. So
that's why I said it at the end here, not before we started, you know, recording this, that that was about an hour for maybe, what did you say, like 48 minutes?
41 minutes.
41 minutes, yeah. Flip it over and put it back on the front, you know, like this, it covered a bunch of genres. Even, you know, if you like the Stones, it's not necessarily like, you might be like, oh, I wanted to hear more of their second album and only rock sound. Yeah. But like, as a, you know, popular type album, you could definitely put this on, turn it back over, put it on, turn it back, let's do this all day. It's got a lot of replay on it for sure.
Yeah, the talent is there. They got that one dude, Ronnie Wood, I think. I put the laptop away, but Ronnie Wood did steel guitar for like a few of the songs and stuff, and like that helped, that contributed. The dude was really talented. I like it.
Yeah. I'll have to look up who that is. I don't.
But a lot of it was written by like Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. But Mick Jagger wrote more on this one, which is cool. I like Mick Jagger. He's cool. I can see why. You could see why he's a rock star.
Definitely, yeah.
Because he seems like he's just fuck it.
Let's go with the. I just didn't know who that was by name. I've seen that guy.
Okay, I didn't know who he was. But they were like, apparently they got him for this album, and it's like, it's a good thing they got him because he gave a lot to the sound.
If he definitely helps mold some of that sound. He was on 2 albums,
country sounding.
The 2 albums prior to this, he was on those albums. But then, like this album, they were like, "You're a Stone, like you're here, you're on the band," and there you go. So I definitely did know that, and I knew, you know, a little more about him.
They look alike, him and Mick Jagger.
A little. Oh yeah, well, you know, live together, all that kind of stuff, all that. Well, all the guys on. I don't know, you know, all the Limp Bizkit guys look the same. All the, you know, Green Day's guys, all the Beatles look the same. Yeah, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it was
for sure. Yeah,
to match the look for a while.
Yeah, definitely hair bands. You know, that kind of shit. Oh man, what was your favorite song? Not that we rank them, but like, which one did you like the most?
I think probably because of the disco, it was "Miss You." I think
you like "Miss You," yeah,
influenced one, yeah,
yeah, dude.
I like "Faraway Eyes" because of the country twang, but yeah, "Miss You" for sure. If not, it would have to be one of the highway songs I was talking about.
Oh yeah, the highway songs going. I like the "Make Me Run." That one was just like, it was just so. Yeah. That one was like, that's the song. That's the song they liked making. That's the song they liked to write about. It was the song they kind of talked about themselves a little bit. Felt very real. Yeah. So that one to me, I was just like, oh man, I'm glad it's right in the middle. It makes you want to get to it again, you know? And then these were fun songs to get to there. And then you hear it and it's like, fuck, this is a good ass song. I like this song. Yeah.
Yeah, the bass line on Miss You was too good. It got me.
Yeah. You were saying that earlier when you were listening. Like, I love this bass line. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't have too much more to say on this album. You know, I'm glad to get together and do these anytime we get to do them.
All the time.
Hoping to do 12, you know, one a month, or we're already, you know, behind, whatever, not that big a deal, but I could do it with any,
Throw
but I
one
just,
in there in between.
you know, we're trying to be safe with COVID, all that kind of stuff, you know, the life and times that we live in, you know, we're not out here being able to, you know, do what Hollywood productions are doing nowadays, but so let's just do what we
bring
can
in
do.
the panes, bring in the window, separate us. And
yeah, oh my gosh, just plexiglass every single thing out here.
Real quick. 2x4s and fiberglass or plexiglass.
If anybody wants to, you know, suggest a record, definitely drop a line, you know, sit and spin podcast at gmail.com. Always on Twitch, Sit and Spin Podcast. Well, not always, but, you know, a lot of times. Just subscribe to it. You'll turn one, you know, it's free. Or it's free to follow. If you want to see, you'll do all that. Podcast, all that stuff. We definitely recommend listening on YouTube.
Twitch,
YouTube. Plug your SoundCloud stuff.
App.
Yeah.
SoundCloud, the beats, the intro and outro are mine, but they're lame. But they're cool.
Yeah, you're working on it too, just like working on the podcast. You know, plug. What do they have to look up?
It's like Dantune-1 or something.
Dantune-1.
Honestly, the Apple. The links are in the podcast thing, right?
Oh yeah, they're all on there too.
Is this on Spotify too, or is
it's everywhere. I put it everywhere.
So just open up whatever you like to listen to.
Yeah, just sit and spin podcast. It'll be there, but I recommend going to YouTube, checking it out on there.
YouTube for sure.
But then if you want to interact in any single way, Twitch obviously.
Yeah, the visual aspect.
That's the real one that people like to really go to. Stream, that kind of shit. But
I
like playing video games and streaming like that. Browse the shelves. It's all through Instagram. If you check out there, it has all the links to get to everything. You can browse the shelf through our Discog collection if you want to recommend that. Hey, listen to this album. Talk about this. If you want to hear us blab about that. If anybody wants to come on the show, just let me know. Drop a line. We'll do an album. Anything like that. Bring a record over. Anything. My cousin Patricia. Yeah, Pat, come on the show if you listen to this. She said she's, I'm getting more records and stuff like that. So I told her, hey, bring over one of the records you like. Come over. Let's listen to it. Let's bullshit about it. Let's talk about it. Just makes you appreciate what you have a little more, I think. You know, and you really sit down and get to focus with it. That's all we're just trying to do here and have some fun. So,
better setting too. It's all here.
I told you about the new podcast idea, but, I'll get more into that on another episode here. But hey, we're going to branch out Roger Productions and just start doing a whole bunch of shows. We'll have fun with it. Roger Productions. All right. You signing off? You good, man? Anything else you want to say? Man.
Thanks for having me. We're going to continue the day. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff. We really
not on camera, though.
We got to get some takeout. Oh, my God. It's going to be a good day. It's Saturday. We're going to watch some fights, MMA. Hey. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're having a day together. 2021's got a lot of limited social interaction. So
thank you for listening.
Of course, man. Sign us out. Bam.